Nice!
Ah, sweet turnage there, and I dropped my pick out of my mouth because
it was almost a 90s kind of rock ballad.
Yeah, I was gonna go for some what are they called? Oh man!
Pearl Jam.
So,
Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of Poisson.
En Poisson.
You know, Poison.
Oh, Poison.
Yeah.
What was Poison? That was it was
Is it dawn?
It was also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, welcome to Acoustic Paradiso on Andertons TV. I am Pete.
I'm Mick. Hello, welcome.
Of course, you don't play that sort of music on. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
why not?
Why not?
Anyway, so you might have watched another video on these Gibson HP, which is not the source, but it's the new range of high-performance guitars from Gibson.
Yes, so in a video that went up a couple of weeks ago, or maybe 10 years ago, depending on when when you're watching this video, we did the HP High Performance 415, 635W and 665 HB.
HP, yeah. So the ones that are the most affordable ones out of that range.
Yeah, they were a couple of walnuts. One slope shoulder cutaway, one square shoulder cutaway, and one small body. So moving on, moving up the price spectrum from that. And if you want to go back and watch that video to get the background on the guitars, do. The basics are HP means high performance. It's a slimmer body depth. They have inbuilt electronics. They have cutaways. They have a new neck shape with a flatter fingerboard radius. So it's kind of, I guess, aimed at guys who want to plug in and girls who want to plug in.
Yep.
And, you know, maybe play up the neck a little bit. As ably demonstrated by Peter there.
What is that song?
That was nice. Dizzy Miss Lizzie by the Beatles.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Little Richard did it as well. Anyway.
The way she rock and roll.
All right.
I mean, Gibson's always going to be a traditional guitar company, but this is kind of as modern as Gibson's going to get in terms of.
They push it to the way the neck is shaped and the roll fingerboards and everything is kind of, you know, with the it doesn't it has got all the modern facilities, as it were, as a modern guitar can have. Can you say that?
I think so. Why not?
Yeah. Modern facilities for guitars.
Yeah. That'll do.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
That'll do.
Apart from.
So that's the context. That's the context.
Yeah.
So moving up from where we left off at the 665 HP, which I think was a rosewood guitar. This is the 735R, which is also solid rosewood back and solid Sitka spruce top. Rosewood, for anyone who doesn't know, is kind of considered the premium back and sides wood for an all solid guitar.
Yep.
They tend to be a little bit more expensive than all solid mahogany or sapele or walnut. Not always, but sometimes.
Yeah.
And in traditional terms, rosewood was usually a bit more expensive than mahogany. Not the case now because they're both rare, blah, blah, blah. Let's not go all of that. But this is a solid rosewood, solid Sitka spruce guitar.
Yeah.
This is the same,
but not the same.
But it's a bit more fancy, as you can see.
Yeah.
Courtesy of this
gold
tuners.
And they're bigger than mine.
Yeah.
Yours is bigger than mine.
Gold and bigger.
Yeah. Bling.
If you look outside, you'll see our gold-plated Fiat 126. M-Reg rusty Ford Focus.
Yeah, actually, or a 1991 Mazda 323F.
All gold-plated, all parked in a line.
Yeah.
Anyway, so gold, bit more fancy around the fingerboard, so ivorwood binding, which is very nice.
Yeah.
I quite like.
It looks lovely, that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's got these sort of single parallelogram bound
but with something in it, because I noticed that, so we'll get a close-up, but it's like there's gold inside it.
Yeah.
So there's like...
Yeah.
It's
very nice.
Very, very nice. The rose set is more...
Yeah, a little bit more like some sea mollusk on the rosette there. Abalone, mother of pearl. Sea mollusk.
Sea mollusk.
Yeah, that's what it's made out of.
Okay, and
I
like that.
Little back strip there.
What's that like? That's a little... that looks nice. Yeah, I like the blue in there.
Yeah.
Good.
So it's the same guitar, but this one's a bit more fancy.
Yeah, fancy.
With its extra bits. Plus one more difference, Pierre.
Yeah. Bridge light.
Yeah.
Ridge light.
Rosewood.
Yeah. And that, ladies and gentlemen, makes a big difference, as we found out last time when we did them, where we thought, oh, this is the same guitar. And actually, one had Ridge lights and one had walnut. Fingerboard, and the tonal differences in that is quite amazing. So, saying that, I'm going to strum our absolute favourite chord in the whole wide world. It's a G chord, and we're using the Neumann KM184. Pass that one. We'll play the same nylon pick, 1 mil. Same. Whatever that was. Right, what are you hearing then?
There's not much in it, is there?
There's not much in it, but that seems darker. This is, to me, with my ear, is that
Let me have a
little bit of brighter? You have a go. What do you think?
Yeah, different.
Very different.
I think that one seems to have more bass and treble.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But I don't know if it's because this one's got more mid.
Okay, yeah.
Alters your perception of it.
It does, doesn't it? I because they are supposed to be the same guitar.
Well,
apart from
more or less,
more or less construction-wise, apart from some inlays and the fingerboard.
Fingerboard and bridge, yeah.
So. No, it's ringing along. That would tell me that the fingerboard makes huge difference.
Yeah, well, we know that fingerboard material does make a difference, and of course, they're handmade guitars, made by human beings using bits of wood. So there's a natural variance in each guitar.
Yeah.
But by the way, it is a scallop spruce braced top, so very traditional, and they've put a bit of arch on it as well. Most modern acoustic guitars have a little bit of arch on it. But
that was my next question, what the bracing was like in them. So
yeah,
that's then answered. Yeah.
Pretty sure. I mean, it's...
yeah. Great guitars though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And again, from the future, if you're watching 2016, this actually is 2017, so they are back from the future. But if you are watching in 2017, these are the new models, aren't they? So they came back from the future, just for us to do a video on them. But great guitars. What can we do else? Do some soloing sort of things?
Yeah,
just try to get some... You want to go up there?
doing?
So there's no money up in that area, dusty area, but it's fun.
What are you even doing up there?
It's fun. It's fun.
Not playing up there. Not playing up there. Not playing up there.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe some other chord stuff.
Yeah, some nice chords. So some nice chords like some of these.
Those notes aren't on my guitar.
Such a nice good chord. What are you hearing? Because you're definitely hearing.
Do that again.
You're hearing something else. I'm using a really sort of 2mm gravity pick here. I prefer this one.
Yeah, so
to be completely honest.
They are the same scale length, 25.5.
Yeah.
So we're not hearing that. So it's just the difference in the fingerboard material and the difference in the guitar itself, isn't it? Which kind of underlines the point. If you're going to spend a lot of money on a decent acoustic guitar, go and try it, because if you were buying off spec, you might go, whoa, you know, the more fancy one is the one I want, or the less fancy one, whatever. You know, you might decide on spec, but actually when you play the guitars in your hands, the two might be different. That one's louder.
Yeah.
It's got more forthright kind of punch and presence in the bottom end.
But again, as you said, it might just be this guitar. It might just be that's made in a certain day, and the light came in right from the east, and the wind blew in from the west, and you know what I mean. That's and you might come in and you might pop into Andertons and go, okay, I saw that video with the two guitars. I'm going to try them both, and you might like the other one better.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a personal preference.
I mean, when you talk about wind blowing and stuff, it's not as facetious as it sounds, because it's wood.
Exactly.
And it grows in the wild, you know, less we need to underline that.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it all is different, you know, as you go out. If you go out in your garden, if you have a garden, go and look at branches, because none of them are the same. But that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So anyway, which one did you prefer then?
I think I prefer that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of it speaks to me a little more, purely because I have a preference for mahogany guitars, really, and they sound a little bit kind of punchier and I wouldn't say louder, but they sound a little cleaner or something. I don't know what the right word is, but
and I've got a thing for, you know, I know ebony, but rich light fingerboard, which I've got on a few of my guitars. I really like it. I think it's great. And as we said before, there doesn't really need any maintenance, and it doesn't need to be oiled up and all that stuff, because it just is not real wood. It's like a paper composite sort of thing, isn't it? Compressed really hard and then dyed. And they use it for skateboards and house cladding and kitchen worktops, and it's really durable.
It's good stuff.
It's good stuff. And look at these. Great guitars, man. Come in a case, of course. Links are below. Oh yes, we need to do that as well, don't we?
Yeah.
So you've been asking about this when we plug it in, and we've had sort of a debate whether it's how to plug a guitar in when we plug it straight in, and it doesn't really represent it properly.
Pete, you've played all over the world. You've done things on TV.
Yeah.
Using an acoustic guitar that you've had to plug in.
Yeah.
What's your opinion of undersaddle pickups in acoustic guitars?
You know, when you're playing them and you've got in-ears and you're playing with a band and you got your guitar is wireless and your in-ears wireless and you have to plug it straight in because you might have to go someplace else to play your acoustic set or whatever, and you play it. It never sounds really amazingly fantastic. You know, sometimes if you got the right sound monitor guy, he can make it sound good, and you go, okay, that's great, and then you put a little bit of reverb on it, and it makes it look sound, and in the mix, then it sounds fine.
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? Because, and it was a leading question because quite often when we try and demonstrate the plugged-in sounds, people say, "Oh, it doesn't sound great. I hate undersaddle pickups. You know, it sounds really plastically." Well, yeah, it does, and they always have, and they always will. But the point is, it's a tool, and it is there to be used when you can't mic the thing up. And when you want to plug in. And once it's plugged in, different things happen because they get EQ'd, you're hearing them through speakers, and in the context of a band, it's a different thing. It's never ever are you very, very rarely are you going to plug in an undersaddle pickup into a desk and expect it to sound like the guitar.
Yeah, no, it's
just
it's
not what it's for.
So I've got a few different ones which I then use and they do sound different because, you know, it's the sound you want. So if you want a smaller body guitar, bigger body guitar, or to create a certain sound within that song, but it's something that is within the song. It's not, you know, and when you do play it like this, it never represents the guitar. It's very difficult, you know, even if you're standing on the stage and you're hearing the big PA behind you, you might go, oh, that sounds really great plugged in, but it's a completely...
It's a different thing, yeah. And I think the point of sort of going over all of that is to say we probably all need to reset our expectations a little bit. An undersaddle pickup in a guitar is never going to sound like the guitar, so kind of don't expect it to. Yeah.
It's a thing, and when we do that, we don't really know what they're going to sound like then. We have to EQ it, put a little bit of reverb on it to kind of get it to create sort of a sound. Then you might listen to it through your iPhone speakers or something, and then it disappears completely.
It's not that dissimilar to DIing an electric guitar sound, is it?
A little bit the same, yeah.
Because there is a speaker in between your ear and what you need to hear.
Yeah. So anyway, what we've done...
The point of having that discussion is we're going to try this and see what this does.
Yeah. So we've got an AER Compact 60, and we're going to plug in straight to the guitar. I've got the plug here. So we're going to take this plug, put it in here, and what you're going to hear is the SE microphone ribbon that's in front of here. And then I've got a line out in the back. So when I'm playing along, what I'm going to do is change between those two signals, but it is going to come out straight of the AER, which means that that's like a preamp, and you will get the reverb from this box, and then you'll hear the microphone in front of it. It will sound different, but you have a listen and see what you think.
And this is part of a test, how we do it in the future.
Yeah, this is a test. So, okay, here's what we do. First, second, and then line in.
Okay.
Right? Let me find my pick.
Yeah.
So we're there. I've got a nylon pick. Right, so first you're going to hear... Actually, let's just do that.
Okay.
First you're going to hear the Neumann. That's here. And then you're going to hear the AER. Okay. And then you're going to hear the DI out of the AER. One was.
All right.
So that's kind of... Just going to unplug that so we don't get any of that. So that's kind of a... Do you want to try that one as well? Let's get some different playing in. So if Mick plugs in the Supreme...
It's Now, as far as we can tell, it's the same. See, so that one's in Gibson spec that says Element VTC, which is the simpler.
So the tone and volume here in the
tone
front.
And volume controls on the end of the LR Bag's Element undersaddle, which is a very well regarded pickup. In Gibson spec says this is an upgraded Session VTC.
Okay, interesting.
Now,
it's got a little bit different. This one is bigger, isn't it? Yeah. It looks much better.
It's got
Not
a couple
better,
of
but it looks different.
It's got a couple of switches, so I'm assuming, and a trim pot, so I'm assuming it's got something else in it. And I'm sorry, we can't put any information on it. So
look at the links below for the guitars, and then it might say there.
Yeah.
Okay. So first, Neumann. Microphone. DI out. So that was interesting because I think that guitar sounded better.
Yeah, to be honest, I can't really remember.
Because we played so many times, and
Yeah, so you will have heard the difference between a ribbon mic on the speaker and the DI out, and that's kind of the point. There is so much variance between what's going to happen between this jack output and what your ears end up hearing, that just plugging it straight into a desk is not really ideal.
No. I've used an AR a lot actually, Compact 60, and then having that on the stage.
I use mine all the time.
Wouldn't
be without it.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't want anything on the stage, and then it's going to be too far away, and they can't hear it anyway. You know, stages do tend to get big.
Not the kind of gigs I do, mate. The barman's like, "What's that then?"
Yeah. But you know what I mean. So sometimes you just don't have the luxury of having monitors on stage, because a lot of people don't use that anymore. It's just you don't have anything on the stage because the dancer's going to trip over it, and you're too far away from it, and it's a luxury that not many people have. I don't understand that, and I can I'm lucky.
Last dancer on my stage crashed into my mic stand,
smashed
my pipe all over my pedal board.
It was the bloke from down in Garage, Hey Mick, but So it becomes, that's why it has to sort of work in all situations, doesn't it? Which is difficult. Anyway, you've heard it, so you make up your minds, and you can have a little discussion below. What do you then think? In the future, maybe we should just use some acoustic amps to plug them into or whatever. Maybe that's better.
Yeah, the only real test for an undersaddle system is to go out and gig it at volume.
Yeah, well, like we did a little the little Laney when we took it out and we played it a pub next door, and then you can kind of hear what it does, Yeah. And then that's kind of the test, isn't it?
Also, I mean, to go to continue this tangent ever further, I think there's a huge difference between listening to guitars and listening to music. Because when you're listening to a guitar, you're going, "Oh yeah, I like the sound of that guitar," and you're listening specifically to the sound of guitar.
Yeah.
Then when you're listening to music, your brain fills in so much information. Yeah. Because you're listening to the song, and it's a different experience.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's all about context.
Many aspects, isn't there? And
many aspects.
Whether you play, also what room you played in. If you played in a little pub where it's very sort of closed, or you play it in a hall or a church or whatever, and then you go like that, and it sounds amazing. Anyway, moving on. I think we've demonstrated that enough, and you should have your discussion below there and say what you think was best, and give us some ideas to what to do in the future. Where these guitars come from, 2017, straight from the future. So I think we've rambled on enough about these, haven't we?
Probably more than enough.
Exactly. And these are the more expensive of the range. If you do want to check out the more affordable ones, so the 415, the 635, and the 665 HB, go back and have a look at the videos. We'll put a link below as well, so you can have a look at that and listen to what they sound like.
735R. 835
Supreme. So that's like it's like a burger, isn't it? That's like the Supreme. Anyway, this was Acoustic Paradiso on Andertons TV. I was Pete.
I was Mick.
And I am Pete again tomorrow. And we'll see you next time.